Hey guys, today we are reading Psalm 77. I cry aloud to God, and he will hear me. In the day of my trouble I seek the Lord. In the night my hand is stretched out without wearying. My soul refuses to be comforted. When I remember God, I moan. When I meditate, my spirit faints. Selah. And I want to stop there and just acknowledge that the child of God will go through seasons where it is just like this, where when you cry out to God, you find no comfort, or you, like the psalmist says, your soul refuses to be comforted because of the distress, because of the discouragement, because of the circumstances around you. Sometimes you'll go through seasons where it's almost like you're resisting the comfort of the Father because there's something in the way, or just because of the spiritual exhaustion you are under. And I want to say to you that the Word of God and the character of God and coming to the Psalms is the perfect thing to do in those seasons, to not pretend like you're not going through this season of where your soul is refusing comfort, to acknowledge that, but come to the Lord in it and say, Lord, my soul is refusing this comfort that you want to give. Can you please do a work in me? And continue to dwell in that place with him, even if your soul is in this continual position of I'm not getting comforted. Still stay in that place with the Lord, and in a place of raw honesty with him, because that is far better. You're still on the foundation of the Father and of the Word of God, even if your soul isn't being comforted in that season. Verse 4, you hold my eyelids open. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. I consider the days of old, the years long ago. I said, let me remember my song in the night. Let me meditate in my heart. Then my spirit made a diligent search. Will the Lord spurn forever and never again be favorable? Has his steadfast love forever ceased? Are his promises at an end for all time? Has God forgotten to be gracious? Has he in anger shut up his compassion? Selah. So I want to stop here at this pause. The Selah is a pause, a natural pause to be still and reflect. And as we reflect on what the psalmist is saying, we can see that he remembers the times and the seasons where he did feel the comfort of God, where he did feel the presence of God, where he was experiencing in his life the blessing of God. And he's remembering that, and how he had a song to sing at that time. And though he doesn't have a song at this time, he's remembering that. And as it says, his spirit made a diligent search. He's searching out with his spirit to remember who God is and the hope that he did have in that season. You could probably relate to some of the questions that the psalmist is asking in this type of a season, where you are feeling like God has forgotten, that you are feeling like God isn't going to come through on his promise, or that his steadfast love is gone. And so you can probably relate to those questions, and it's okay to cry out to the Lord in those questions. Then I said, I will appeal to the years of the right hand of the Most High. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your wonders of old. I will ponder all your work and meditate on your mighty deeds. Your way, O God, is holy. What God is great like our God? You are the God who works wonders. You have made known your might among the peoples. You, with your arm, redeemed your people, the children of Jacob and Joseph. Selah. And so we're going to stop here again and tell our soul that's refusing to be comforted, to remember and ponder on and meditate on the mighty things that God has done in the past, who God is, what he did from Genesis all the way into what he did in the New Testament, but also what he's doing and done in our lives. And if you can't think of something in your own life, to remember the testimony of people around you. And that's why testimonies are so powerful, because when we can't muster up the I don't know if courage is the right word, when we can't muster up the emotional strength to keep going strong and to be comforting ourselves with the word of God, we can read testimonies of those who went through the fire, but that the Lord did a mighty work in them, and that will give us hope and courage. It's like speaking to your soul and speaking to your spirit and reminding yourself of who God is and what he has done, even when you're inwardly refusing to be comforted. When the waters saw you, O God, when the waters saw you, they were afraid. Indeed, the deep trembled. The clouds poured out water. The skies gave forth thunder. Your arrows flashed on every side. The crash of your thunder was in the whirlwind. Your lightnings lighted up the world. The earth trembled and shook. Your way was through the sea, your path through the great waters. You set your footprints, yet your footprints were unseen. You led your people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. And so what stands out to me in this last part is that the Lord, when he steps in to do what he's going to do a mighty work, to be the faithful God that he is in his perfect timing, none can stop it. His power is unmatchable, and the earth actually responds with shaking and trembling. And the other thing that stands out is that he didn't take the Israelites around the Red Sea. He actually took them to the point where it looked hopeless and it looked like there was no way out and that they would be overtaken by the Egyptians who were trailing them, and led them through made his own path through the sea. And so that's huge for right now, especially in the nations, but also in our lives, where we've come up to this place where it looks like all that we have been believing in and believing the Lord for, it looks like there's no way through. And that's actually one of the ways that God operates, is to bring us to that place. Instead of taking us around in a rational or easier way, he takes us up to the impossible and then makes a way through and breaks through. So I just want to encourage you with that today.